Hey y'all know what time it is? It's time for another amazing recipe. So come on, let's get started. Hey y'all, welcome back to Bubba's Cooking, and today for you, I'll be making biscuits and gravy. It's not just any biscuits, okay? You have to pronounce it biscuits, okay? You have to roll the tongue, okay? It's a special biscuit, okay? So, the first thing I like to do is go ahead and start on my dry ingredients for my biscuits. Now the reason I'm doing this is because you want to make sure that your butter is very cold. So what I've done, I cut my butter in cubes and I place it back in the refrigerator. So this is why we're starting with this part first, and then we'll go to the butter. All right, so right here is 3 cups of all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of cream of tartar. Right here is a half a teaspoon of salt, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, and right here is 3 tablespoons of raw cane sugar. So now I would just get my handy mixer and whoop, see this? Whoop, so good. Mix, mix, mix. Yes. All right, put that to the side. Now I'm just gonna put this right here. Now we get to this wet procedure part, okay? All right, so I will get 1 cup of cold milk, and I will get 1 egg. Make sure the shell is out. That's not a very good texture in the mouth. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is mix this well together so the yolk will break. So it'll be easier for when I do the biscuits. So the most important part is actually cold butter, okay? I cut it into small cubes, right here as you can see, and I will add it to the dry ingredients, okay? Now this right here is 3/4 cups of cold butter. So now what I would do, I would get my pastry cutter, and I would just do it like this, but you don't want to overwork it, okay? Because you want it to still be chunks of butter, roughly around like a pea size. You still want to see butter. But like I said, do not overwork it. Just make sure that it's worked inside of the flour. And that's basically a secret step when making a very beautiful biscuit is cold butter. If it's room temperature butter, then it will not fluff up and be as beautiful. So keep in mind, cold butter makes beautiful biscuits. So I'm done with that part. Like I said, you want it to be like a pea size of butter. I will add in my wet ingredients, which is the milk and the egg. And I will mix it until it's well combined. This part will be a little sticky, so it's okay. Just mix it up until it's beautiful and comes well together. All right, so now I'll just take this off the spoon and I will flour my surface. Now I'm using a linen cloth. It's best so that you won't mess up your countertop. If you want to mess it up, it doesn't matter. But it's like being a little control freak with not being so messy. All right, so I'm just gonna powder this right here. So now I'm just gonna add a little bit more flour on top. And now I'll form it. You only want to knead it a couple times. Well, not a couple times, more like 10 times of kneading. You don't want to over knead, okay? Because you want the biscuit to stay fluffy. Now I roll it out to like 1 inch thick piece. I'll get my rolling pin, make sure that it's floured. All right, so now we'll work from the center and go back and forth. So now I'm just gonna get my cookie cutter, also aka biscuit cutter, and I will just put it on like this. Don't mash it down, it will come up. There you go. Do this again. Mash it down. Make sure you don't ever turn it. That's very important because if you turn it, it will still it. So just go straight down. See how beautiful this biscuit is? It's beautiful! And you can kind of see the layer in a way. Kind of see it like a little layers, a little wet. Just go straight down on it. Make sure that each time that you dust your cookie cutter. So I'll go ahead and place this on a cookie sheet. Now, if you would like these biscuits to be pushed together, you can get like a cast iron skillet and you can put them all together if you like soft edges. I like mine a little crunchy on the side, so that's the only reason why I am spreading them out, the biscuits. So, all right, so let me just do this real quick. Just gonna need this part real quick, roll it out. I'm just gonna dust it again, pop it. So I have another one for one more, but I was gonna put this aside just because I'm only doing one tray. Now, if you want to, if you don't have any room and you want to just, you could freeze it. You can cut biscuits out, freeze it, and then it'd be good. So you just thaw it, put it in the oven. All right, y'all, so now this biscuits are ready to go in the oven at a 450 degrees, okay? And we will keep them in the oven between like 10 to 15 minutes. All right, so let's go. All right, y'all, so now it's time to make the homemade sausage gravy, or which like pork gravy. I got this from my local grocery store. It's a pound of ground pork. Make sure you take that out because it's not edible. Not at all. But I'm using a cast iron skillet because to me, that's what brings out the gravy. So in the meantime, I'm gonna let this cook roughly around 8 to 10 minutes. But between the half mark, I will add in a half of a white onion and also 3 cloves of minced garlic to give it an extra and flavor. And I also can't forget another amazing ingredient that will enhance the flavor of this gravy is using bacon grease. I'm using 2 tablespoons of bacon grease. If you do not like using bacon grease, you can use 2 tablespoons of butter because you would need that in order to make the roux for the gravy, okay? So another thing that honestly is very important when making a roux or making a gravy, to me the best thing is using a wooden spoon that has a edge on it. Well, it's flat edge so that you can scrape against the pan. All right, so you can get all the settling and stuff up and mix well together. That's very important. But to me, when making a gravy or something, is always use a flat wooden spoon. All right, since this part is halfway done, you can see it's still a little pink. I will go ahead and add in my onion and my garlic to get it sauteing. All right, y'all, so the biscuits are done. Look how beautiful, very butamus. Now at this time, if you want to, you can add hot butter on top, melted butter on top to give it a glaze, but since I'm just doing a sausage gravy, it doesn't really need it. But if you're using it for a regular biscuit for a side, then of course you always want to put melted butter onto it. All right, so now I'll add in my 2 tablespoons of bacon fat. All right, so now I will add in 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour, okay? And you want to sprinkle it over top. You don't want it to lump. And you want to cook this roughly around 1 minute just to get the rawness of the flour out. All right, so now it's time to add in 3 cups of whole milk. Now you want this to come up to a boil. Once it comes up to a boil, bring it down to a simmer and let it simmer for 5 minutes or until it gets thickened. So once I let it come to a boil, I'll put it to a simmer, and then after that's when I will add in my solid pepper and cayenne pepper. I like cayenne pepper because it gives a little heat and a bite to it, so that's the only reason I like it. That's an option. If you like heat, then use cayenne pepper. So you now see that this is coming to a boil. Now it's time to reduce the heat to a simmer and let it simmer for 5 minutes. So now is the time that I like to add in my seasonings, okay? So now I will add in some cayenne pepper, just a couple, like a pinch or so. I like heat, so that's why I'm using it. I'll add in about like a half teaspoon, no, just a taste to be honest, because the pork has already have a salty taste to it. And this is regular black cracked pepper. All right, so this is the desired thickness that I like. Of course, if you want it more thick, then you have to keep it on the stove more. If you like it thinner, then of course take it off. But to me, I like this thickness. Something that's runny, but it's not too thick to where, you know. And again, once it cools off, it'll become more thicker as well, so. All right, y'all. The biscuits and the gravy is done. Look how beautiful this biscuit is. Look, the outside, look, it's not burnt. It's beautiful. There's a little sour, but you know what? It's okay. Everyone deserves some love and so good. Okay, But y'all, look how beautiful this is. I'm gonna show y'all. Look at that. So beautiful, and it's so soft. Look how beautiful that is. All right, y'all. So the goodness is about to begin. Put on this delicious gravy. Let the biscuits soak up the gravy. Get delicioso. Delicioso! You like Dora? Yes. Look at that. It's beautiful. Now it's gonna add a little bit of parsley to give it some color, because we like some color up in this house. Y'all, even the imperfections are beautiful. I just put this in the oven. I was like, you know what? I'm not even worried about even putting a cookie cutter and shaping it. I'm just gonna put it in the oven like this. And look, I think this thing outshone the other ones, to be honest. It's so beautiful on the inside. It's so fluffy. Oh, kind of jealous that this one actually turned out better. But you know what? It's fine. The moment you all been waiting for, ta-da! Is the final result, okay? And I will taste it. Who's ready? Y'all, that's what you talk about for a ding snack down for a breakfast. So good. Y'all, this is bringing back so many memories. We had this a lot, like literally a lot. And I love homemade biscuits. The plain old biscuits doesn't have to be buttermilk, doesn't have to have anything special added to it. Just a plain old biscuit for me with an amazing gravy is phenomenal, okay? You can't beat that. And I love the heat that the cayenne pepper have gave this. Even though I put like a pinch or so in it, you can taste the heat. You can taste the heat, okay? That's what you taste. That was a mouthful, and this is amazing, and I cannot wait to finish it. So thank y'all very much. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this video, comment below on this video, share it, express your gratitude towards this recipe, or if you have another recipe that you would suggest me to do, or any suggestions on how to better this recipe if y'all have a better solution. I'm all up for suggestions, okay? Well, thank y'all very much for watching this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Y'all have an amazing day. Bye.